Hi, my name is Ms. Cora, and today I will be discussing the 21st century classroom, STEM. What is STEM in 2018? It's a curriculum-based type of education with focuses in science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's about more than just students sitting down and taking notes. It's about engaging them in their learning and about using real-world situations. Throughout my research, I noticed a ton of issues and a ton of current trends, but I just put a few on this presentation. One issue that was huge was that there wasn't enough funding being given to support the education of science, technology, engineering, and math, or there wasn't enough support being given to teachers to teach these areas. I completely agree, and I think that as the rise in STEM continues to increase, our funding has to increase as well. It's sort of a cycle. Without funding, we can't have STEM, and without STEM, we can't have funding. Another and really detrimental issue that I found was that teachers are sort of being left behind because they aren't educating themselves on the most modern practices, which is STEM. The way that we learned 10 years ago is not the same way that our students learn, and it's up to us to educate ourselves. A couple current trends was coding and the fact of women aren't being involved in STEM as much as they should. And I think this is just simply a diversity issue. Um, Teachers and parents aren't encouraging their students to pursue their desires or their interest in STEM. Um, and 20 years ago, STEM was obviously a male dominated field. But in the 21st century classroom, it's super important that we encourage students to pursue these interests in STEM. Another one was coding, and I think that this is definitely due to a rise in technology. I also noticed that there's actually more jobs available in STEM than there are professionals to fill them. But how can we, as educators, integrate these practices into our classroom strategically? It's obviously imperative that we do so, but it can be really simple, um, such as just using laptops for email or a group project. Um, Careers in STEM are obviously rising, and technology can't be avoided. Students use it outside of the classroom, and it's imperative that we use it inside of the classroom because it's up to us to make our students successful, and we can't do that without using the things that they use outside of the classroom. Some super cool apps actually allow students to engage in STEM, and these are ones that I think mainly focus on engineering because I think engineering gets lost in the educational system sometimes. So Hopscotch is an app that lets students create their own app or game, and they get a sort of independence about what they want their app or game to involve. The next two, the Everything Machine and the Robot Factory, are sort of similar, and they allow students to create these machines that have completely different functions, but they can do whatever they want with their machines or their robots. But it gives students experience with coding circuits and different parts that entail of the building of these things. Most importantly, how does this affect us as educators? Again, I want to say that whether we know it or not, students are learning with STEM and it's affecting the way that they learn in the classroom. And it's up to us to use these resources so that our students can be successful. Careers in STEM are taking over our world because such a rise in technology has occurred in the past decade. And every day our lives revolve around it, which is sort of just me repeating myself again, saying that we use it in the morning, in the afternoon, and before we go to bed. And without it, our lives just wouldn't be the same. And because of this, as educators, it's up to us to integrate STEM into our education of students.